USS Lexington. Starting the tour, going down below deck. Hey, did your haircut, girls?
Yeah.
In the barber.
We are on the USS Lexington on November 5th, 1944, in the Philippines. This ship was struck by a Japanese kamikaze suicide plane, crashing into the ship's island on the starboard side. The structure was wrecked. Numerous ship's guns were put out of action. 47 officers and men were killed. 127 more were injured, and many were seriously injured as a result of this action. They remained on patrol until November 7th before retiring.
Okay.
We're going to be entering the ship's berthing area, which is the area that they sleep. The size of the ship's sleeping area depends on the size of the ship. During World War II, each sailor was issued a hammock to be hung in their area throughout the ship. After the war ended, 2 or 3 tier bunks replaced the hammocks, which improved the sleeping conditions.
The machine shop on board Lexington can keep the ship going even when spare parts are not available. Never was this truer than during the early wars when spare parts were hard to come by. Machining is any process in which a cutting tool is used to remove small chips of material from the workpiece. To perform the operation, relative motion is required between the tool and the work. On board a ship, the man doing this work is known as a machinery repairman. The machinery repairmen perform organizational and intermediate maintenance on assigned equipment and in support of other ships, requiring the skillful use of lathes, milling machines, boring machines, grinders, power hacksaws, drill presses, and other machine tools, including portable machinery, hand tools, and measuring instruments, which are commonly found in a machine shop.
40 years of service in the U.S. Navy, this 7-room dental clinic was one of the busiest areas on the ship. Unlike today's 7-room clinic, this area consisted of only 2 large units in World War II. During Lexington's construction in 1943, the dental clinic was located exactly where it is today. These spaces have remained the dental clinic throughout the ship's service. The clinic has always been state-of-the-art, up-to-date, and modern for its time. Whether you needed fillings, a root canal, crowns, bridges, full or partial dentures, or just cleaning, you could get it all right in here. Lexington's dental clinic performed over 12,000 dental procedures a year with up to 35 patients a day. That's a lot of teeth.
A little history of naval mine warfare. With the start of World War II, mine development expanded rapidly with the airplane and submarine, introduced a new series of mines. During the World War II, mines sank 1,316 Axis ships and damaged 540 of them. And while the Allies lost 1,118 vessels. They laid more than 550,000 mines during World War II.
The engine room, the heart of every ship. Down there.
Since December 4th, 1943. I was part of Repair Party 3 stationed in the mess on the other side of the ship and about 170 feet aft of where I'm standing now. I had 10 friends scattered around the area between frame 184 and 198, all on the 3rd deck. At 23:32, a torpedo struck the side of the ship. The only survivors were 4 of my buddies, including my best friend Roy that had been sitting on a couch at the aft end of the compartment. 9 of my friends were killed that day. 7 from Repair Party 3, and 2 of my buddies that were on the fantail. Another 35 were injured. Because of the severe damage, 5 of us were left in the damaged spaces until Lexington reached Pearl Harbor. On the 5th, Jimmy and Billy were buried at sea, and 2 of us were never found after the explosion.
The Oil King on U.S. Navy ships was responsible for ensuring that the millions of gallons of fuel oil, aviation gas, lube oil, hydraulic fluid, fresh water, or any other liquids in storage tanks on board the ship were dispersed from one storage tank to another to keep the ship on an even keel to prevent it from leaning from one side to the other.
Hi, and welcome to Lexington's Aft Engine Room. This is the throttle board for the aft starboard turbine. The Lexington was powered by one of the most efficient and dependable propulsion systems ever installed in the United States Navy. On the other side of this bulkhead is the fire room, which is where the steam is produced to power the turbines. We use steam because we can take seawater, turn it into fresh water, then convert the water to steam, and use the energy from the steam, and then reuse the water, reducing dramatically the amount of fuels the ship has to carry. There are 8 boilers in the 4 fire rooms, and 4 high-pressure and 4 low-pressure turbines in the 2 engine rooms. The Lexington is propelled by 4 15-foot diameter propellers on 20-inch shafts. Turbine engines are relatively simple, with a closed-loop system of water and steam to drive the turbines. The steam, with a pressure of 600 psi at 850 degrees, is piped into the high-pressure turbines, where it expands through circular rows of blades. The steam then goes through the low-pressure turbine, where the steam expands in both directions to balance the thrust. In both turbines, the revolving blades turn the propeller shaft at up to 265 revolutions per minute, while developing 150,000 horsepower total.
U.S. Postal Service room.
During World War II, this ship's post office consisted of one medium-sized room where all the mail was delivered. United States mail was delivered by ships.
Going up to the flight deck. Flight deck. A little breezy up here. I'll see what I can get without too much wind. Did you know the USS Lexington has more telephones than a city of 5,000? The USS Lexington carries enough gasoline to drive your car around the world 132 times. The flight deck is equal to more than 2 acres of land on which you could grow a crop of 100 bushels of corn.
The USS Lexington was the first ship in the U.S. naval history to have women stationed aboard as crew members.
Welcome to the VB-19 Ready Room exhibit. This compartment has been restored to create the wartime atmosphere present in 1944. The purpose of the Ready Room on an aircraft carrier was multifunctional. This compartment would act as a staging area where pilots would stand by after being briefed concerning a mission's objective, or to be debriefed after a mission was flown. This was also the pilot's battle station. Many hours of waiting took place in this compartment, sometimes only to have the mission scrubbed due to weather conditions or any number of operational situations. This time was passed by playing cards and conversing about home.
USS Lexington, Museum on the Bay, Corpus Christi, Texas.